The UFC returns this weekend with two events. You got UFC Fight Night 102 on Friday night on UFC Fight Pass. And then you have the pay-per-view event. And man, oh man, has this fight card changed so many times. Of course, we're talking about UFC 206. It takes place this Saturday night at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Canada. Prelims will air on UFC Fight Pass at 6:30 Eastern, as well as on Fox Sports 1 at 8 p.m. Eastern. The main card, which airs on pay-per-view, starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Now, the original main event for this event was Daniel Cormier taking on Anthony Johnson for the heavyweight title, the light heavyweight title. However, Cormier suffered an injury. He had to pull out of the bout. Johnson didn't want to take another fight. He wants Cormier, so he's going to wait until Cormier recovers from his surgery. And so they moved the co-main event between Anthony Pettis versus Max Holloway to the main event. And so what they did to save this pay-per-view was they stripped Conor McGregor of the featherweight championship. Now, which makes sense because he hasn't defended the title since UFC 194 last December. He is currently the lightweight champion, so it makes sense that he wouldn't go back down 145 because it's just an extremely hard weight cut for him. They put the title back on Jose Aldo, who is coming off of a win over Frankie Edgar at UFC 200. Aldo was, thinking about retirement, thinking about leaving the UFC, and so as a make good card, the UFC put the title on him. Back to UFC 206, they wanted to save this pay-per-view, so they put the interim UFC Featherweight Championship on the line. It's a meaningless title. No one really gives a shit about the title, and it's basically a number one contenders fight. Whoever wins between Pettis and Holloway will fight Jose Aldo at a later date for the real UFC Featherweight title. Now, I don't have a problem with them putting the interim title on the line in this fight because I get it. It's completely due to promotional reasons. We already know going into this event that this was going to be the number one contenders fight, so I'm okay with that. In the co-main event, you have Donald Cowboy Cerrone taking on Matt Brown in a welterweight bout, and I cannot wait for this slugfest. Can you imagine? These guys are going to go at it. They're going to have a war. They'll probably go to the ground. They'll stand up for sure. They're going to be throwing bombs. Cannot wait for that fight. You also have a featherweight bout between Cub Swanson and Dooho Choi. You got Tim Kennedy taking on Kelvin Gastelum in a middleweight bout. And opening up the pay-per-view event, you have Jordan Mean taking on Emil Weber Meek. Oh, that's going to be a good fight card. And then kind of just looking at the prelims, not running through all of them. Drew Dober takes on Oliver Albon Mercer. You got Mitch Gannon taking on Matthew Lopez. That's on the FS1 card. And then on the Fight Pass card, you got John Maxdick taking on Lando Vajada. You got Zachary Moski taking on Dustin Ortiz. And Rustam Khalib taking on Jason Sago. So, prelim cards are all right. Prelim card, is all right. But the main card is banging. I don't really like the opening bout between Mean and Meek. But Kennedy and Gastelum should be a barn burner. Swanson Show should be really good. Cannot wait for Cerrone and Matt Brown. And then Pettis and Holloway should be off the hook as Pettis is trying to, get back to his winning ways. He went on a losing streak. He won his last bout. And Max Holloway is looking for his 10th straight win inside the world-famous Octagon. Now, a little bit of backstory on the Kennedy-Gastelum fight. So Kennedy and Rashad Evans were supposed to fight last month at UFC 205 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. However, Evans had some issues with his medical, so the UFC decided, okay, we'll just back that fight up 1 month and place it on UFC 206. Of course, Evans had issues with the Canada Athletic Commission, so he had to be pulled from that fight card, and Tim Kennedy's like, look, guys, I've been out for like 2 years, and I want to fight. All right, who we got? Oh, we got Gastelum, who can't make fucking weight. All right, let's book him against Kennedy, and that's what they did. Gastelum could run through Kennedy. I'm a fan of Kennedy. He's a true patriot, but he hasn't fought in 2 years. He's damn near 40. Gastelum's the younger fighter. He's coming off of a fight at UFC, I believe, 205, 204, something like that. So he should run through Kennedy, but just kind of giving my quick picks. I got Max Holloway defeating Anthony Pettis in a unanimous decision 5-round war, and then I think he goes on to lose to Jose Aldo. I'm so fired up, I'm botching names right now. All right, so co-main event, you got Cerrone versus Matt Brown. I'm going to take Cerrone. He's been on a winning streak ever since he lost to Rafael dos Anjos back in July. So he'll probably get the decision victory. I got Swanson TKOing Cho in the 3rd round. I got Gastelum beating Kennedy by decision. And I got Mean getting a quick TKO victory in the 1st round. Y'all, 206 is going to be sick. What do y'all think of this upcoming fight card? Let me know in the comments area below. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care.